All right, guys, so today the goal is to change a ABS sensor on a 2014 Sprinter. I drove the truck and it throws a couple codes of ABS problem, and what happened is that when I pressed on the gas, truck was running well, but then when I unpressed the gas, the truck was still going and throwing ABS light and stuff, weird and really dangerous stuff. But the only codes that were there were ABS codes, and anti-slip and ESP codes were on. So it all says it's on the back, on the driver's side. So I'm gonna change it and show you exactly how I do it. Alright guys, so that's all you need to change the ABS sensor. You'll need a car jack, a jack stand, a way to get the wheel out. It's a 19 millimeters or a 3/4 of an inch socket, or you can use a cross if you have. Screwdriver, flat screwdriver to get the sensor out, to make sure to really get under it and be really gentle with it, because they break a lot, and even if the part is no good anymore, it's a hell of a nightmare to get it out. So be gentle, try to get it out, and if you don't, then it's another story, complicated story, but there's always a way to get it out. The other thing to get the bolt out, it's a E8 socket. German cars, they often use those kind of bolts with those heads, so you need to have those special sockets too. But if you don't have them, you can still use a regular one. A regular one with the right size will fit the bolt. The right size is 7/32 of an inch. So that's all you need to get it out. Maybe a pair of cutters and maybe some tie wraps for after. All right, guys, so what I did is I decided to jack it by the rear differential. Then I put a jack stand right there, so it's safe and the wheel is free. The next step is to remove the wheel cap, and behind it there's the wheel nuts, and they are 3/4 of an inch the size, but I'll do it with a 19 millimeters because that's what I have for now. The next step is to take off the ABS sensor that's right there. I think that's a what is it, maybe a E8. Yeah, E8 goes right in, but I'm sure you can do it with another socket. But this is an E8. The guy put a lot of tie wraps all around, so I'm gonna cut that out, and then the connectors looks like it's going in the floor. Like right there. I don't know where it goes out though, but we'll figure that out. All right, guys, so I finally took it out. It was horrible because the bolt was really easy to get out, but then the sensor was so stuck into there that I had to use a drill bit, then put a screwdriver, then turn left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right a lot of times. And at the end I decided to try to put my screwdriver a little bit farther, and when I hit it with my hammer softly, gently, it still broke into parts, and some parts fell inside of over here. So I had to take off the disc, take off the caliper, the bracket, take off the whole axle, then remove the plastic part. Then I put everything back together. So now it's all nice and clean in there, no more parts, no nothing. So now this is the wire that goes, that broke. I removed it really gently and stuff, but still broke. Those things always broke. So I'm gonna follow the line, follow the wire I mean, and see where it goes. All right, guys, so I'm under the truck. What I did, I followed the wire. I was following those two, the handbrake and the other one, and it ended up to be the one that goes there in the bottom there. So it's this connector right there, the lowest one. That's for the driver's side, and yeah, super easy, just to disconnect it, and that's it. All right, so the sensor is out. This is the connector at the other end. And a little tip trick I can give you is always look at those pins when you disconnect them to make sure they're nice and no rust or anything on them, because sometimes you'll see some dirt there, some rust, or some green stuff, and even if you put a new sensor into it still not work, because the problem is the connector on the other end. So time to put it back on, the new one. All right, so I got my new sensor. That's the part number I got. Cost me like 65 bucks. Really nice. I think it's cheap for the length of the wire and for Mercedes, I think that's cheap. So I'm gonna redo the same thing, put it back in and make it follow the lines, the wires over there with a tie wrap, some tie wraps all around, and connect it, and should be good. That's how it looks, all done. Back where it belongs. So, and it's going there to the connectors there, right there. All right, guys, so everything is back on, everything works great. I delete the code with my scanner, but you guys, I have a little trick for you. If you don't have a scanner and you want to reset it, just go under the pedal there, and there is the red tab there that disconnect the battery. The battery is under there, under the feet. But if you want to disconnect it, you just have to push down on this, on the tab, and pull. That's it. So your battery is fully disconnected now, so it's gonna reset everything. The ECM is gonna be reset, everything's gonna be reset. And to put it back on, just push it right in. That's it. So all good to go. All right, guys, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, and see you soon. Peace.